you can see from that video montage, I've gone ahead and rearranged this office a little bit. I've gotten rid of the desk that was here, replaced it with a couple tables. This one's just meant for kind of tearing down, putting back up when I do YouTube videos. If I'm going to work on a printer or whatnot. The lights, I can go ahead and take those down, the camera and all that. And then I have a nice big space here that I can use for other things. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Maker Melissa's Lab. In this episode I'm going to be continuing the build of the Prusa bear here. If you haven't caught any of the previous episodes, I will go ahead and link them. In this one I'm going to be working on building the X-axis since I'm not taking an existing Prusa printer and so I don't have an existing one to transfer. I'm going to be building it up from scratch and I'm going to be building up the Z-axis as well. Now I'm using this Chimera here, and the designer of the Prusa bear recently released a new design for this to work on the Prusa bear, which he released to his Patreons, which is why I have this. And I'm going to go ahead and put that together. And I'm a little concerned that because of the extra height of these stepper motors and these couplers, that the hot end won't actually touch the build plate, and we'll go ahead and find out once we get to there. And if that's the case, then I'll go ahead and do a slight redesign on the X-axis carriage pieces. Let's get started. Okay, the first step is going to be going ahead and assembling the X-axis. I have a variety of parts which I'm going to assemble. This includes an idler that has a little tensioner built into it. The reason I need to use this for the X-axis instead of the original Prusa ones, which I could have printed, is because the Chimera here will actually take up a little extra room when it goes and slides along the X-axis, and that gives it its full range of motion. Okay, I've gone ahead and inserted the linear bearings into here, making sure that they're 45 degrees from each other so that the little balls don't create grooves in the rods. And then I've gone ahead and while I had one of these inserted, I went ahead and tightened them. Okay, now I've gone ahead and attached the smooth rods along with the bearings on here. I had to push really hard, but they have little indicators to show that you got them pushed in there enough. And next I'm going to go ahead and attach the stepper motor. Okay, I've gone ahead and inserted the little pulley into here. I used a bolt that I had cut off the end of. It was an M3 and that holds it just fine. I put a couple M3 nylock nuts in here, and now I'm going to go ahead and secure it in here with a couple M3 by 18 screws, and then I'll go ahead and put these little nut things on here. Okay, I've finished assembling the X-axis here. I've gone ahead and put the trapezoid nuts on here. I've just put enough tension on here just to get it a little bit snug, but not too bad. The next step is going to be attaching both the smooth and the threaded rods here. Now I have these special little covers here so little bits don't get into the stepper motors that I designed that go right on the shaft, and they are keyed and everything. The original ones for the Prusa were intended to go on a threaded rod like that, but since I don't have that, I've gone ahead and come up with my own design. Next I'm going to go ahead and attach the threaded rods using these couplers here. These are rigid couplers. They're a little smaller diameter than the ones that have the little springy thing on them, like in my original one, but I think that's going to work better for trying to get past the part on here. I'm still a little concerned that this may not fit? Let us check. Yeah, so it looks like it will not go past here. If my calculations are correct, I will most likely have to redesign these. Okay, I've gone ahead and attached this all together here. And I went ahead, I had to use the Dremel tool to kind of clean this up. I think it's a little difference between the aluminum extrusion that I got and the stuff that's supposed to come in the kit. Anyway, after cleaning them up with the Dremel tool a little bit, just for speed, they fit perfect on here, and they're just the right height. So all the calculations came out great, which is awesome. Let's see how low this will actually go down here. Okay, that is about as low as it'll go. If it's anything like the original, it'll be about here, so I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of redesign of these parts here. Once we put the heated bed on, it's going to raise it up about 1/4 of an inch, but I don't think that'll be quite enough for it to clear. So before I go ahead and I stick the Hemera onto here, since I will likely need to take apart the axis again just to kind of put all the new parts on, I'm going to go ahead and do a redesign of that one in Fusion 360. So that'll be my next episode. So go ahead and hit like if you like this episode, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you aren't already subscribed, so you can keep up to date with any future videos that I do. I don't do it on a regular schedule, which is why having this notifications on is good, because then you can be notified when I do come out with new ones. See you in my next video.